I'm going to talk about the different places I've used my Mondo expedition packs, my little baby backpacks, my other backpacks, my bags, and everything else for you in this video. In this video, I'm going to do a shootout of all the different places I've used all my different backpacks, from the large expedition pack to the little baby backpack to the mid-size pack to everything else. Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. I'm here to share my experience and talk a little bit about backpacks. People always ask about this question. Here we are. So let's get right into it. This backpack is my Gregory Expedition Pack. This thing is huge. It eats pretty much everything. Eating meaning, what can I jam in here? Let me fill up the backpack and I'll talk a little bit more about it. I've had this Gregory backpack for, I think it's pushing 20 years. I remember I bought it on sale a long time ago, thinking one day I'll use this thing. It sat in my closet for the better part of a decade simply because it's huge. This is back before they had liter measurements, but as you can see, this backpack is the size of my body. I have used this backpack trekking on Denali in Greenland through the Arctic. As you can see there, in Greenland through the Arctic. I took it to Russia. Let's see, where else have I gone? This backpack is so big. Actually, I haven't used it a lot of places simply because it's massive overkill. The reason I simply bought this backpack is because, one, Gregory backpacks are so good, but two, this material here prevents slipping. So as I'm walking with a backpack, I really don't have a problem with the backpack sliding down off my back. So that's very nice. The hip belt is super substantial. It's got extra plastic stays in there. The belt has stayed very well, as you can see. The fabric hasn't really worn down that much. I have finally worn out the bottom of the pack, so I just had this bottom sewed on here, and that made a substantial difference. On the side of the pack, when you get a really, really big backpack, make sure that it has side straps so you can put skis, poles, pads, or whatever else in here. This pack also has a bottom hatch zone as well as straps so you can put additional padding or anything else on here. The design of this pack is such that it has a primary main compartment and then also a lower compartment here. As you can see, I'm just putting my jacket in there. And the whole idea of this backpack is to carry a lot of stuff. In addition, the top hatch also has the ability to be taken off, which is really nice, and converted to a mini backpack. And it also carries a lot of junk in here. I just remembered I've also used this in Patagonia on a big trek I did there as well. So when you look at these backpacks, they're in the 90 to 110 liters, massive. I think they used to call this the Denali pack. The D-rings are especially nice if I need to carry anything. But when you're looking at something where, hey, I need to go crazy, I'm going to carry 50 plus pounds, then you need to look at a very serious backpack. They're not going to be cheap. One of the things about this also is that the hip belt is actually bolted in to aluminum stays on the back, and it makes it a very heavy backpack. It's 5.5 plus pounds. It ends up being quite substantial. And as a consequence, I only use this pack when I'm heading on very serious expeditions where I know I have to carry everything on me and I have to carry a lot of weight, and I'm going to be absolutely confident, as soon as I can get this zipped up, that everything will stay in the pack and that I will have everything with me. This carried over 50 pounds with me across the Greenland tundra, in the Arctic, below minus 20, minus 30, minus 40 degrees. It was uber freezing. I've also used this in Yellowstone. So as you can see here, Just spin that around so you can see everything. It actually doesn't have a lot of fancy zippers and bobbles, just some straps. That's something when you get a mega backpack, you don't want side zips and all this, because all that does is add extra weight and increases the risk that something will go wrong. When I go for the big backpack, this is what I want, just a huge, huge bag on me. I will now remove the material and show you the next pack. My next largest pack is an Arc'teryx. It's an Ultra 75. It is actually quite a substantial pack. It is not as big as my Gregory, even though they look about the same. The Gregory, when I extend the top, check this thing out. This thing is just huge. It just keeps going and going. I can increase the pack capacity by about 30%. The Arc'teryx pack, compared to the Gregory pack, it is not as large, although it does have an extendable top, but it does not have as much carrying capacity as my Gregory. Maybe by, I don't know, maybe by 7 inches or about 15 centimeters. This is the pack that I use when I need to go winter backpacking. I know I'm going to be carrying some weight. I use this backpack on a climb of, let's see, where was I? In the Wind River mountain range, Gannett Peak. So this is what I used to haul all that extra weight for a 4-day trek, knowing that I had to bring extra boots, crampons, and everything else. Let me fill up this pack to show you what it's like. There we go. And I will now put the pack on my back. Now these Arc'teryx packs are built very sturdy as well. I would say very comparable to the Gregory based on their price. I would hope so. This carries very well as well. It does have a lot of different zippers and things on it. So you can actually unzip the pack from the sides, which actually, honestly, I don't like that. I think I've used this feature once, and simply because, do I believe that the zipper will fail on this Arc'teryx? Probably not, but this style pack actually completely opens up, and some people actually prefer that, and I will now show you that feature. I will now unzip the pack completely. And some people, what this allows you to do is it allows you to completely open the pack so it becomes more of a duffel bag, which is a very nice feature. However, you're trading that versus the extra weight of the zippers and the possibility of the zippers failing. As you can see though, it contains a lot of material. Also, this pack has a double zipper so it can zip both directions. So if you prefer left or right zip, that is very handy as well. I will now zip this pack back up. Now you'll notice on this pack too that it also has the same features of side straps here where you can strap your skis or poles or whatever on the sides. It has very similar pockets on the bottom. It does have a nice feature where it has an additional, instead of just a set of straps, it has a set of cloth here, and this allows me to put a tent or anything and be more confident in the carrying. My Gregory pack does not, it just has straps, but this additional fabric on the bottom, which is very tough fabric on the Arc'teryx, actually is quite nice. The Arc'teryx also has an additional pouch on the back of the backpack, which is quite huge, as you can see here. And this is where I put my toiletries and everything that I need to get to during the day. Also, river crossing shoes or anything where I don't want it in the main compartment and I need to get to it pretty quick. The hatch or lid on this backpack is pretty crazy. Check this out. Arc'teryx put 2 separate zips on top of the hatch, and that allows me to have two different areas of storage. Typically, I will put my immediate electronics and headlamp up here, and then other toiletries and things where I don't want them to get lost, but I don't mind as much that they get shuffled around. And do note that this is the fun part. On the inside of the hatch is a whole other zone where you can put more material. So literally the top hatch has 3 different pouches inside of it, which I really like because I put my other electronics and things that I don't need to get to often, but I want to keep them contained. That is a very nice feature. And again, I've used this on Gannett Peak and hiking in the winter. This pack does very well. One of the things I absolutely do not like about this pack is the hip belt slips. Say that 3 times as fast. For some reason, and maybe I just need to get a different buckle and it won't slip, but the fabric of the nylon that they used on the hip belt is slippery, so as I'm walking along, the belt slowly loosens. That's really irritating. That is a major downfall of this pack. I've gotten to deal with it, and I just hike it up and tension it down. Maybe I just need to go find another buckle, but having the hip belt get loose over time is very irritating. So that would be one major negative on this pack. Again, I don't really care about the zippers. These padded items are nice, so it keeps skis and things under control on a big ski trek. It has the usual strap where you can put the strap over items in here. All right. It has an extendable strap so you can put even more, maybe your rope or something else on top of this bag. And it makes it really huge. Right? And that is the Arc'teryx backpack. Really love it. Just one annoying failing is the hip belt slips. This also has a rotating system on here that they tried for a while. It is nice so the backpack doesn't grind on you, but I don't think they make it anymore just because of the danger of potential failure. And now we get to my ultralight backpack, the Gregory, and they called this the G pack. They don't make this anymore, but I believe they have the Z pack. This is of ultralight fabric, so instead of 5, 6, and 7 pound backpacks, this is 2 pounds and some ounces. And this is really substantially smaller, substantially lighter. The capacity of this backpack is at most 20 pounds. When I hit 25 pounds, the frame begins to bend and it doesn't carry load so well. Let me load up this backpack. Amazingly, this pack actually can carry a lot of material, and the fabric is very tough. You can actually punch a writing pen through the fabric and come out, and it actually self-heals. But eventually it started to develop holes in the bottom just from setting it on granite and rubbing, so I just broke out with some Gorilla duct tape and put that on. Ultralight backpacks are definitely awesome. I have used this pack for at least 1,000 miles, and it's worn incredibly well. The straps have tiny little scuff marks, nothing terrible on it. The hip belt works really well, as you can see there. This style backpack is much simpler. Again, it has a single tube body, and this one has a single hatch on the top, key loops and everything else. That is very nice there, so that's where I put all of my materials. Again, do note, none of these backpacks are waterproof. I think there are only 1 or 2 waterproof backpacker makers in the world, simply because it's like an operation to get it waterproof. This pack also has an outer pocket. That's where I keep my toilet paper, my river crossing shoes, my fuel bottles, and anything else I don't want in the main compartment. I do put my daily water bottles in here as well. That has worked very well. this Gregory G-Pack. I love this thing, and even though the bottom is a little bit damaged, I will, again, if I need to sew extra fabric on there, I will, just because I don't want this thing to die. It is irreplaceable. All right, there we go. That is the Gregory G-Pack. This pack is also Gregory. I could easily have 2 of the G-Packs versus my massive Expedition pack. It's hugely incredible difference. Now we come to some more of the let's see, here we go. My other newest backpack, my other newest backpack is my Black Diamond Speed 40 backpack. I just did a review of this, check the links below. This backpack is designed for summit pushes and ultralight backpacking as well. Let me put my jackets in here to show you how this bulks up. The Black Diamond Speed 40 backpack. This is primarily meant for attacking summits and going pretty light. It's about 2 pounds and 13 ounces. It is comparable to my Gregory pack. Gregory pack is a little bit lighter. This one is pretty close. However, this pack here is designed with special features like ice axe loops, ski strap areas, a hydration bladder pouch. It has a removable hip belt compared to my other packs, which do not. It also has another ice axe loop here. Let's see, what else does it have? Oh, it has a rope pouch on top, and that is pretty nice. And as you can see on this pack, let me unclip this here. This is meant for much lighter weight. Oops. Let me loosen that up. This is meant for much lighter weight use. As you can see here, the backpack is still actually quite substantial. Being a 4-liter backpack, it is quite large. And I love this thing as well. You could actually do backpacking with it, but the hip belt is very thin, so it is not really meant to carry any particular load. Compared to my ultralight or somewhat ultralight Gregory pack, it actually has a backpack hip belt that is quite substantial compared to my Black Diamond backpack. You can see the difference here, the Black Diamond backpack and the Gregory lightweight backpack. The next backpack that I used is actually my JanSport pack. I've actually traveled with this quite a bit when I need a separate smaller backpack, and this has also been my summit backpack on Mount Elbrus. This has been my summit pack. I was planning to use this on Denali. I've used this summit backpack on Grand Teton, Tiwanaku, Middle Teton, South Teton, and quite a bit. It actually has day pack features like a laptop sleeve and all sorts of other stuff, but it actually does fairly well. Now, the only type of waist strap it has is just this thin, regular 1-inch webbing that I use to tie around my waist, so as I'm moving around, it doesn't go and get out of control. I won't put anything in there, but you can see there, this pack does really, really well. Now, consider I did one of the 7 summits using this as my summit pack. It's definitely not huge. You can't put a sleeping bag, but I have put a shovel. I have put quite a bit of gear in here, and it does very well. It even has gear loops, which for normal people that use laptops is pretty crazy. And then I have my ultra small travel backpack. This is actually an Eddie Bauer. This backpack is pretty slick for traveling and doing city hits. You could use this as a super light, fast summit pack, knowing that it's not going to carry much more than a puffy, a couple water bottles, and maybe an emergency first aid kit. One of the nice features of this pack, however, is that it actually packs into itself. When I travel, I always like to have a backpack that I can run around the city with, and having a big old backpack in my luggage is kind of painful. So instead, I use this pack, which literally, as you saw, folds into itself. And as soon as I get the zipper closed up, I now have a city backpack and a very convenient carry handle. This thing has gone with me to Europe, to South America, to Russia. It really does quite well. I can't recommend enough always having some sort of small backpack, so when you're running around buying gifts or traveling for the day, you can actually carry this with you. Do note that some locations say, hey, no backpacks can come in, like the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. That was a bit of an issue, but they had check lockers for security, and it worked just fine. Can't recommend this little backpack enough. And finally, my specialized backpack. This is actually my North Face duffel. I did a review of this before. It is super huge. This has gone to Russia with me. This has gone to Denali with me. This has gone to Africa and Kilimanjaro. And it is a backpack because North Face actually put straps so you could backpack the duffel bag. Now, it's not efficient to go very far because the straps actually cut into my neck just because of their position, but for short distances, this thing totally works. One part I do not like about this is it does not have a traditional duffel bag strap. So I had my mom, love you mom, sew on a little handle, and I'll show you that here in just a moment, that I can actually convert this duffel bag into a proper duffel bag strap and throw it over my shoulder. That is definitely one modification you want to make to this bag, because they didn't, for whatever reason, or not, yeah, the North Face didn't put a traditional duffel bag strap on it. That is the one failing of this bag. Check out the review, extended review I did of this before. There you have it, a whole bunch of backpacks, at least 6 or 7 of them that I've used for different circumstances. Hopefully you've found this video helpful, showing you all the different uses and capabilities of the different backpacks that you might use for your outdoor and travel adventures. My name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. Please like and comment on the video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel to support it. Thank you very much for watching, and get out there to adventure and be safe.